What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Next Bite podcast. My name is Danye. I am your host. We have talked about protein. We've talked about carbs. So today we are talking about dietary recommendations for fats.
You're listening to The Next Bite, a food and fitness podcast hosted by yours truly, Danye Phillips. For nearly a decade, I've helped hundreds of women conquer their struggles around food and exercise. With a little bit of science,
creamy, salty, sweet, and oaky nuttiness. You detect that?
And humor.
Oh, I'm detecting nuttiness.
Close your eyes.
I'm here to break down nutrition one bite at a time so that you can take one more daily struggle off your plate. Now, I know you're short on time, so in each episode, I'll help you navigate conflicting diet trends.
Everybody says flavor's so important, and it is, but texture matters more.
Confusing food labels.
No! Spit that out right now!
And crazy health claims that bombard your brain daily.
MSG, the king of flavor.
I'm gonna nerd out about the research so that you don't have to, and I'll be able to guide you in deciphering what's optimal versus what's your best option that's available to you in that moment.
Jonesing for a cupcake, and I was having a mild pregnancy tantrum that I could not get a cupcake even though I owned a cupcake shop.
If you're wondering why the world is constantly talking about protein and macros,
give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
Or just trying to answer the never-ending question, what's for dinner?
Started making it, had a breakdown, bon appetit.
You're in the right place. Are you ready? Let's go find your next bite.
So let's just get this straight right off the bat. Fats do not make you fat, okay? It is a combination of things that can lead to that, but we're not going to go there today. Let's just focus on what the recommendations for dietary fats are on a daily basis and a couple different ways that you can math it out to get there, okay? We've talked a little bit about the FDA recommendations for, again, your other major macronutrients, proteins and carbs. So the FDA daily value recommendation for fat intake is 78 grams. So when you are looking at a nutrition facts label and you look at the right-hand side of the panel and you see these percentages, that's talking about the percentage that is recommended for you, or the amount in that particular item of the particular nutrient based on the daily recommendation. So let's maybe do some quick math. If you're looking at, if you're looking at a tablespoon, or if you're looking at coconut oil, a tablespoon of coconut oil is roughly 14 grams of fat. So that's going to be about 1/5 of your daily intake if you are comparing it to the 78 grams, because that's what your nutrition fact label is going to be based off of. So it's a percentage of 78. And that's if you're eating 2,000 calories per day. So if you're eating less, you might want to have a little less. If you're eating more, you might want a little bit more. So you might see on that nutrition fact panel that 1 tablespoon or a serving size of that coconut oil is going to roughly be 20% of your daily value, okay? That's just an example. It's going to depend and vary on every single food item that you pick up that has a package and a label, okay? So that's your daily value. The next one is your DRI, or dietary reference intake. So this is kind of that percentage range that is recommended on a daily basis for your macronutrient intake. For fats, your DRI, or that percentage range, is 20 to 35% of your total daily calorie intake. So what does that look like? If you're taking in 2,000 calories per day, and we're going to do a little bit of math for what 20%, 25%, 30%, and 35% looks like. Multiply 2,000 by 0.2 for 20%. That gives you 400. So 400 calories. We're going to divide that by 9 calories per gram. Remember, protein is worth 4 calories per gram. Carbs are also worth 4 calories per gram, but fats are worth 9 calories per gram. So 400 calories divided by 9 calories per gram That gives us 44 grams per day as a dietary fat recommendation. So if you're aiming for 20% of your daily intake to come from fat and you're eating 2,000 calories per day, then you should be aiming for about 44 grams of fat per day. Same math for 25%. Multiply 2,000 by 0.25, divide by 9, that gives you 55 grams per day. So you can see the trend here. 30%, multiply 2,000 by 0.3, divide by 9. So that will be 600, divide by 9 gives us 67 grams per day. And then for 35%, multiply 2,000 by 0.35, that gives us 700, divide by 9 calories per gram, and that gives us 78, which brings us full circle right back to the 78 grams per day that's recommended for the daily value. So your nutrition fact panel is assuming that on average, most of us are eating 35% of our total daily calorie intake from fat. So typically, just to give you guys a little bit more of like, well, where do I go? That's quite a large percentage. Like, you could say, well, if I want to eat 20 to 35%, then I'm going to aim for somewhere between 44 and 78 grams of fat per day. Some of this can come down to, personal preference, and you might want to switch up. Do I want more carbs? Do I want more fats? Don't switch it out with protein, but there's definitely some personal preference there. I like to share with my nutrition coaching clients that if you are looking to lose weight versus maintain versus gain, then we're going to pick a different percentage range. So if we're aiming to lose weight, then I might want to be closer to 20 to 25% of fat intake per day. If I'm trying to maintain, then I might want to be 25 to 30% per day. And if I want to gain some weight, then I might want to be closer to that 30 to 35% range per day. This all varies, everybody's lifestyles and stress levels and sleep health and dieting history, genetics, all those things need to be taken into account. But if you're looking for a starting point, you want to understand how to read a nutrition fact label, where some of these numbers are coming from, these recommendations are a good place to start. So I hope this helps. Make sure you rewatch and re-listen if I'm talking pretty fast, because I know I can, but that's going to be a wrap for today's dietary fat recommendation. And if you haven't subscribed and you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you are watching a clip on Instagram, make sure that you pop over to YouTube or to the podcasting platforms that you prefer to listen on. The major ones are going to be Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and Spotify. So you can listen to the whole thing there. So if you want to watch it, it needs to be on YouTube. If you want to listen, you have your pick of a bunch of different platforms to listen on. In other news, Happy New Year. It's wild that it's already 2025 and we're already through the first week of 2025. I will be hosting a couple more workshops. Really, actually, I'm hosting 3 more workshops, but there's one that's currently available for the public. So Saturday, February 1st, will be my next and last workshop that will be hosted in Shreveport, Louisiana. So definitely check out the link in the show notes below. It'll be $50 per person, and it will include healthy mocktails and different snacks. And the topic this year will be portions. So a lot more in-depth information. If you like what you see on the board and what you hear me talking about on the podcast and you want more of that, the workshops are the place to be. It's very interactive. It's a lot of fun. You get to ask all the questions that you want. You get to eat and have really great drinks, and it's a good time. So anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for listening, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye for now.
That's it for today's bite-sized insights. If you found value in today's episode, please share it with a friend who has mentioned the topic of today's chat and help spread the word. Thank you for your ratings, reviews, and support. They mean the world to me, and they are what help me to continue creating this show. Until next time, I hope you enjoy your next bite.
If you are what you eat, then I only want to eat the good stuff.